executing it. They're very confident in their game plan. So anytime you play against someone that's real well prepared and they're confident, I thought they executed the entire game, showed an awful lot of patience. Most people are just shucking their offense and just ball screen and attacking us off the dribble, and that seemed to be as something that's challenged us all year long. We normally have a bunch of 7-footers back there protecting the rim. We avoided that a little bit this year, and I thought Ken did an excellent job with his game plan, taking advantage of this edition of the Seminole basketball team.
Questions for Coach?
Yeah, Leonard, Kenny was in here saying that you guys make it tough, for teams to run set plays. I'm just wondering, you kind of talked about it too, but just what the difference Tyler Johnson made coming off the bench and just, trying to keep him in front of you, I'm off the dribble, and just how he was able to feed the post.
That was I know they had planned for him to play 38 minutes anyway. That was just a ploy to allow him to sit there and survey what was going on. And he made the difference in the game, no doubt about that. Clever. I've always admired a lot of those kids from playgrounds in New York. They've got a different understanding of the game. And him driving, but he made some very clever passes in there. And being that we're not as apt to protect the rim as much as we have in the past, he took full advantage of it. But he's very clever. And the interesting thing is he's only going to get better because he's a young player. And I think he's going to be fine. I believe he's going to end up being the face of the program. You keep surrounding him with good players, the future is going to be very bright for the Cardinals.
When a guy gets going the way he started going and his confidence kept building and he kept attacking, is there anything that you thought about doing to try and slow him down, or is that? We
could have played zone. So that probably would.
Did you think about it?
Yeah, we had a couple, one or two possessions, but that's not what we do. That's not who we are. We are regrouping like a lot of teams are, and we'll be back. We haven't forgotten. I just think that the night we faced a team that was very well prepared, had an excellent game plan to challenge who we are. And your hat goes off to Kenny and the Cardinals.
What was the biggest challenge there for you in the second half, just in terms of, you guys had cut it close, several times down the stretch. And what was the biggest challenge there for you to, to actually get over the hump?
Well, there's no doubt that we are not as consistent with our execution, offensively and defensively, as we have been in the past. And that's been a challenge for us all year. And I thought that offensively, we didn't move the ball enough. I thought that in some cases, we just didn't get the ball to the second side where we could attack closeouts. I thought we rushed a lot of things, one or two passes. That's not the best way to utilize our system and the talent that we do have on this particular team. But we're still learning and growing. Hopefully, we can take whatever positive we can from this game. Obviously, learn from our shortcomings. That's one thing about being in the ACC. You don't have time to have a pity party because right around the corner comes another game that will be well coached, very well prepared. And so we play on Tuesday at Boston. So we'll learn from this game and move on. That's the way it always has been. I think sometimes in our league, the national media and maybe some of the media period are still adjusting to how much the league has improved. In other words, if the top 2 or 3 pillars in our conference are not at the top nationally, it's almost like what's wrong with the league, when in reality, over a number of years, I think that the traditional successful programs in the ACC has pulled everybody else up, and is more parity, and that's proven by what happens in the NCAA tournament. It's interesting that during the years when people say the ACC is not as strong, you always have our teams in the Elite Eight, the Final Four, on a consistent basis. But in the beginning of the season, we become, people have not adjusted to the fact that a lot of other teams have just have improved, and the league is so much more competitive now from top to bottom. It doesn't really matter who you're playing and where you're playing at home, on the road. It's a competitive game just about every night out. I keep reminding people 70% of all the games in the ACC normally is decided by 4 points or less, and that's been consistent. But I don't think that image has caught on with people on a national basis, because for so many years we've had 3 or 4 teams always at the top. But if you go and look, when the NCAA tournament comes, those teams have lost games in the ACC. The people who don't always have that high level of recognition. But when come NCAA tournament time, we always give a full count of ourselves, and I think the league now has gotten better and better, and I think it's going to continue to keep growing, especially now with the transfer portal and the other things that we have that we deal with now.
Leonard, as you were getting ready for this game and watched video of Louisville, could you see they were improved, and if so, in what areas?
Okay, every game that I watched, there were times when they would be down by large margins. And every game there was a period where they cut the lead to 3 and 4 against really, really good teams. And so you see what their capabilities are. They just have to sustain it, for the full 40 minutes. And I think tonight they did. And I was concerned, we said right from the beginning that they're dangerous because they really have the pieces, but they like a lot of teams when you bring in new players, and you got young players, and you got transfer guys in. It just takes a while for it to mesh. But I was very impressed with the fact that it didn't seem to matter what the score was. They always found a way. They make it close and be in striking distance, and then sometimes they look like they're fatigued. And at the end of the game, the margin might have been extended, but it wasn't because they had not shown that they were very capable of executing and doing a very good job. And tonight they sustained it for 40 minutes. Even when we cut it close, it seemed like they flexed their muscles and made good plays. And I think a lot of it is because I thought they played smart. I thought they created for each other. I thought that they had great spacing, and I thought they stuck with their game plan. Each time we tried to make a run, they created easy opportunities for each other. I can't count all the times when I thought that we had done something pretty good, that a guy would make a slash cut or run to the front of the rim, and they'd take advantage of whatever mistake we made. That means the team is finding a way to get better and improve.
In the same vein as Rick's question, you voiced some really strong support for Kenny the last time you were here, and speaking to me at the last year's ACC tournament. I'm just wondering, based on what you're saying, and just some like the talent that he has here now, like I'm guessing that your stance on just him needing more time to succeed here, that's like only grown stronger.
I find it interesting. That's an excellent question. But I've been fortunate in my life to be at schools that need a little fixing up. Oklahoma State, Miami. Oklahoma State hadn't gone to the postseason tournament in 27 years before I went there. Miami didn't even have basketball for 13 years. I was fortunate to have athletic departments and universities that were patient with me, allowed me to improve the program. Now, that's not always the case a lot of places. People seem to think that when a program doesn't get down and need improvement overnight. But most of us are expected to come in and turn it overnight. And there's no doubt that Louisville has one of the most rich, traditional, successful programs in the history of college basketball. And I do believe, and I'm not saying this because I respect Kenny, given time, I don't know if there's anyone in the country any more equipped that has the kind of relationships that won't get this thing back to where Louisville has enjoyed for many, many years. It just takes time. And you're gonna make some mistakes somewhere along the way. You know, this is not as easy, and it's been made more difficult with some of the rules now that govern the game. I mean, we've had a real successful program over the years, where we have hit a patch that when the COVID hit, maybe I'm sure we could have done a better job, maybe evaluating or doing something. But I'm confident that we're gonna get it back, and I don't have any doubt in my mind that Louisville's gonna get back to the days of old. Now, I'm not trying to tell an athletic department of the school how to run their business. I'm just talking about history. And I've always been interested when the program sometimes takes a turn, that how many times, how many coaches that they hire with limited amount of time to get it back where it's supposed to be. I'm fortunate enough that I've been able to sustain. I was at Miami, and we no conference affiliation as an independent, and then we joined the Big East, and that was a challenge. I'm going against all the Hall of Famers, Boeheim, Calhoun, Conoseca, Caglissimo, John Thompson, Massimino, and then I'm starting with coming from an independent type talent, and now we got to compete with some of the top winners programs in the history of college basketball. It took time. Miami and Florida State, it was a little bit of a challenge, but I think because I was able to, I had the opportunity to grow, then I think that we was able to fix it. I think Kenny would do the same thing.
Coach, your team does a pretty good job of taking care of the ball. You average about 12 turnovers a game tonight. You guys had 18. You guys shot the ball pretty well, 51%. But it seemed like Louisville was able to get timely stops. What were they able to do defensively to kind of?
I think they were very active with their hands. I think it was a combination of two things. I thought they were very active with their hands in terms of getting deflections. We count deflections all the time, and I don't know what our count was tonight, but I thought that we were not as clever with how we handled their defense. It wasn't like they was pressing us. I just thought that we had some ill-advised turnovers that they took advantage of. And I think then at one time we started pressing. And like I said earlier, I didn't feel that we were as patient offensively as they were. And I thought that they had better ball movement and created better driving lanes. And I thought once we got behind, I thought we rushed it and rushed our play and turned the ball over a little more than what we've been accustomed to.
Everybody else set? Thanks, everybody.
I'm just getting started.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leonard.
All right, buddy. You know what? What a ball kick from one.